Welcome. My name is Jim Hubert, and this is Knowing Your Town. Tonight we have Brendan McNeil, who is the superintendent of the Ashby transfer station. Does that sound good?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. How long have you been running the transfer station?
About 6 years.
Oh.
Yeah, there was no one there for a little bit, so I had switched jobs and I had Saturdays open and just been rolling with it since.
There is a big difference.
But
for the people, okay, what's the difference between a landfill and a transfer station?
Well, the landfill is kind of the backdrop of where our transfer station is. That giant hole is just, well, giant hill, I should say, was a hole that just got filled with, well, trash,
Garbage.
Basically, yes.
Yeah.
The deal was they would cap it because the DEP needed it to be capped. So I think it was Waste Management stepped in, filled it, capped it. And the fortunate part is they kind of left all the structure around it, it seems, that could work as a transfer station for us. And a transfer station, you guys basically, you, the public, whoever, the town people who are there, bring in refrigerators, trash, recycling, anything like that, and we transfer it out to where it goes. And different sources, but yes, it goes to, that's what we do.
What is a dump? I mean, people have a hard time saying transfer station.
I know.
And it's the dump, but
it is to, I try to, I always try to call it the transfer station or recycling center, just because, anyone who's been in town a while knows it as the dump, and they'll tell you, I remember coming here as a kid and throwing things in a hole. And that's, that's how it was. But, we're not a dump. If you go over to Great Wolf Lodge, actually, in the Fitchburg-Westminster line, that's where Waste Management basically brings all their trash. So if you go over there and say you hike Leominster State Forest close to that, you'll notice a lot of plastic bags and trees, and you'll catch a smell after a while. And if you're lucky enough to stay at Great Wolf Lodge and stay on one of the top floors, you can actually see how it's just bulldozers pushing sand over piles of trash endlessly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's kind of a dump, or that's what a dump is now anyway. And actually a lot of the smaller market, you've probably seen, I think it was just last year, a train full of trash just fell over in air. Trash basically also just gets shipped down south at this point.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, I know they still put stuff in coal mines.
Yeah.
In Pennsylvania and Ohio, beside nuclear waste.
Yep. Things
right.
go away, but they go somewhere.
The dump, the landfill that we have there.
Yep.
I was fascinated. We had spoken probably 7-8 years ago about putting solar field up on top of it.
I've heard a lot about that, but it just hasn't.
Well,
you probably know more than I do, but
no, it was too far away from power.
Mm.
We needed 3-phase wiring. It was a mile away.
Oh.
Too much money. Nobody wanted to bid on it.
Mm.
But what fascinated me was, number one, we have a cell tower up there.
Yep.
But we also have those little stands.
The old methane,
The
the old
methane,
burners,
yeah.
I don't know when they started or when they went out, but they're not used anymore.
As soon as the cap was put on top of the landfill, then they put these things in. And according to Jack...
See, he would know. Yeah, I wasn't there. So.
Well, when I got here, Jack was here.
Yep.
And we talked a number of times about these things. And he said when he first started... I don't know when Jack first started.
I don't know either,
but he
actually.
says that they were just about done. He says every once in a while you'd see one of them flame up.
Wow.
But he says they probably, the last flame was 10 years ago.
Wow. Yeah, I've never seen in there.
Have you ever
There's
seen
just
those things
trees
up
and
there?
bird nests
Yeah.
around them now,
Yeah.
and that's about it.
Could you explain the new $50 window sticker system?
Yes. So, in order to raise money for the recycling center, because everything just goes up, and we can get into more detailed costs, but basically, the state was looking for. Wasn't sure if we'd make our budget. The town had kicked in $2,000, I believe, maybe a little more, for the transfer station, which is supposed to be an enterprise fund and run itself. So the state basically said, you need more of a cushion. I've already raised prices. Figure when I got there, it was $4 a trash bag, and we're up to $7 now.
Mm-hmm.
But it also used to cost, I don't know, $150 to move a dumpster, and now it's about $250. Plus a fuel surcharge, plus the price of trash has gone up about $30 more a ton since I started. So, just rising costs. So the purpose of the sticker was for a couple of reasons. One was, we need more money. And we wanted to keep services the same. I didn't want to have to raise prices anymore, because eventually if you raise prices anymore, you'll probably keep, you can only go so far. I don't want to keep raising prices that much over 6 years. The sticker they work to give us some money ahead of time and know where we stand, and it kind of gives the town an idea of how many people use the transfer station. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm always, telling anyone that'll listen, hey, the transfer station's a good deal because you pay $7 a trash bag, your recycling is free after that, so if you come and spend the $7 on a trash bag and you're a really good recycler, you're only spending $7 on a trash bag. It's especially good for, we'll say just a couple by themselves or with older kids or something like that. I understand it's hard to make it on a Saturday when you've got 3 little kids in soccer and a lot going on. That is tough, but but we are a really much better deal. If you're paying for a dumpster that you barely use, you might as well just come down once a month and spend that $50 initially, but then $7 a month after that. That's at least how I kind of pitch the place. But yeah, and it also let the town know how many people are using the transfer station over the course of a year.
Yeah, but the money is
Oh, yeah.
money is the primary
Oh
reason
yeah, it is
that
the money.
was-
Yeah. Yep.
So, how many people bought stickers?
We're up to almost about 200.
Really?
Yeah.
That's phenomenal. I remember when you used to say that it was a little over 100
Well,
every Saturday.
Yeah, the thing is that some people might come once a month, some people might come once every 2 months, People get couches and refrigerators to get rid of, and they don't mind spending the $50 on top of the 20, knowing that they'll probably come here again, or they might even, I'll tell them just come back to, we also sell a day pass, and anyone that just buys a day pass that, someone, for instance, someone was moving last week. It's like, I'm never going to come here again. I'm like, well, okay, $20. And then why don't you just come here again? It's only 10, it's 11 in the morning. Come here again and just get rid of as much as you can.
Right.
But that's just,
that's
it's fair enough. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel.
That's something that people didn't know.
Yeah, but, so yeah, we do have a day pass if you're just need to get rid of stuff for the day.
Well, if you have a summer house up here.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah. And
Or-
even
or a
now
winter
it's,
house.
yeah, and that's it. We'll start losing snowbirds, like friend over there. And so it's not as busy in the winter, but it's still busy because you still have all the regulars. People get to throw out their stuff. So.
Oh, that's okay. I'm going to ask you to do something now, which is, I've been doing the show for a while, but this is the first time that I could actually do this. Drive into the transfer station for us and tell us what you're going to see,
As you go
because
in.
I'm so afraid that people think of a dump as just open garbage. It's disgusting. It smells. I don't,
You
and
can't
it's
do
really-
that anywhere anymore.
It's really not like that.
No,
So,
that's
all right.
It is unfortunately in other countries where some of our stuff might end up, but
Yeah.
not here. We have.
All right.
I go through a DEP inspection every year.
Drive right in.
Okay, so anyway, you just turned off at 31. You're driving into the transfer station. As you go past the yellow bars, you'll see the clothing recycling bin. I'm just gonna give a little pitch for the clothing recycling bin because it's not just clothing, it is backpacks, belts, blankets, book bags, coats, comforters, draperies, dresses, flip-flops, jeans, pajamas, basically anything fabric you can put in there. So that way you're not putting it in the trash and costing us more tonnage and trash.
Right.
Yeah, but that's, I mean, shoes. Even just one shoe, they don't care. They're shredding it. So
Now, do we sell that to people, or is this just?
if it's the same company we had before, they were giving some money to the school as a donation. I'm not sure how that works now. I guess I'd have to ask, but that was what was going on before.
Well, that's when it was over by the school.
There's still one. There's 3 in town actually. So you can. There's one for not to get off the recycling center for a minute, but if you want to recycle clothing or any of the above fabrics, Town Hall has 2 bins behind it. Lolo gas station has 2 bins, and we have one that you could actually just, even if we're not open, you could just park in front of the yellow bars and kind of hop the fence and throw it in the bin.
Okay.
Yeah.
So keep going.
Okay, so anyway, now you're going up the road. There's a little pond to your right. I've seen otters there, so slow down and check out. You might see an otter, turtles in the summer. And after that, you come up to the swap shop. If you want to check out anything that's in there and take it, it's free. If you have anything you think might go in there, or it's a good product, something someone can use. Tools, those are always good. I've grabbed so many tools from the swap shop. Yard implements, anything like that. So if you want to drop stuff off, run it by with Linda, though. She's in charge of that. She's a volunteer, and she does that.
Linda
Stacy, yep. She also accepts cans to be returned at hand, so no New Hampshire cans, but anything that can be returnable. Any returnable cans, bottles, she returns them for the COA. The Boy Scouts used to do it, but there's no, Okay. So Linda actually does a lot with that. She's usually taken out, 2-3 trash bags every,
Really?
Yeah. And people know now too, and there's their cans from Linda, and they're all, returned. So yeah, Linda's doing a lot there for the swap shop and the COA by returning all the cans. I'll have to ask her. I'm not sure how much money she's gotten off the cans in the last year, but But anyway, anyway, that's something else that's good, just going on right on that corner right there.
So you can get rid of stuff, even though
if it's not good, we'll tell you. We don't want to put any fabrics in there because of mice. We don't want to put any electronics really in there because you can't plug it in and see if it works. People are always trying to give us ceiling fans, and it's like, well, who's going to put in a ceiling fan that may or may not work? The swap shop has its limits to a point, but. So anyway, that's swap shop. There's some nice furniture in there sometimes. Anyone tries to, cabinets, we always bring those in. And people usually take them too. Then if they're in good shape, they come in and they go. So furniture's a good one.
Do you have to have a sticker?
No,
I don't.
You should. I mean, if you literally come up with stuff that's and we take it all in the swap shop, good enough. I mean, if you got to pay to get, if it's just stuff that is junk, and it's like, no, we don't want that. You came all the way up here. If you really want to get rid of it, you can get rid of it, but it's going to cost you a lot of money. It's not swap shoppable. Linda's already rejected it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, anyway, that's kind of the swap shop. That's how that works, more or less. After that, there's a red barn. The only thing we really have in there, we have some car batteries because we'll accept those. That's where we keep the fluorescent bulbs. We take fluorescent bulbs. We charge about $1 a pop for them. We take the spiral bulbs. We charge for those also. But if you just go to Walmart, there's a spot. I mean, not Walmart, Home Depot. There's a spot for spiral bulbs as you walk in, so you don't have to give them to me, and I don't have to bring them to Home Depot. But I will. Let's see, what else is in there? All sorts of weird batteries. We take weird batteries, but if you want to not give them to me, you can go to Staples. Staples actually gives you credit for recycling batteries and ink toners.
Really?
You can. Yeah, so if you every month you can get recycling points just from Staples for bringing in recyclable items like batteries. And they also take the computer batteries and any kind of weird battery they'll take. So. Home Depot, actually, as you walk in right next to the spiral bulbs, there's a spot where you can put all your tool batteries, like the DeWalt batteries, the Milwaukee batteries. You can put those there. Once again, we'll take them, but there's a spot at Home Depot for those things. That's what's in the red shack, and I've been cleaning that out because those things had built up, and hopefully we'll get rid of the car batteries this coming weekend.
Right.
We got a volunteer with a pickup truck, so the scrapyard takes, once again, we could take the batteries, but they're actually going to go to the scrap metal place in Townsend, which will pay, I think, 20 cents a pound for them, which will
Really?
just, yeah, which, you know, I've taken them for free. I should probably charge for that, but anyway, we don't get that many though, so. So anyway, they're going to go there to the scrap metal place. We just got to bring them there. After that, it's a storage place for us, Linda's cans and such. Then you're looking straight ahead, and you have the tires on the right side. We take tires. They're $8 a pop. If they're bigger, just ask about prices. I can tell you if you have a tractor tire or anything like that, they're really expensive to get rid of. So just letting you know.
Like pickup truck and smaller.
Pickup truck is not
Is
that
your
bad.
standard
Yeah, there's a
$8.
certain size I forget, and they're like $16 after that. So I got the chart, well, not with me right now, but yeah, I would just check that out. But your standard tires that everyone in town digs up in their backyard, it seems, and brings in are $8. Scrap metal is for ovens.
Scrap metal.
Scrap metal. Yeah, I mean, it's for scrap metal. We're going to charge you for the bigger items. We're going to charge you for a grill. We're going to charge you for a dishwasher. Anything that takes up, a decent amount of space. If you're just showing up with, like, car rotors and little nickel and dime stuff you dug up in the backyard, you just throw it in. It's really, you're recycling it. That's good.
Right.
It's not a big deal there.
Well, the metal, is that the one thing that makes money?
No.
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 Does anything make money?
So, no, maybe those car batteries. But no. So scrap metal. So figure before we were sending our scrap metal to, I think it's Schnitzer. I think that's the big scrap metal company.
Okay.
So it was going somewhere. I would have to pay for the trucking to get it there and pay for some sort of release, and then they'd give me the money back. And they were always just about dead even. So it's like, why am I going through all this paperwork to just when they could go to Townsend and we just call it even money? And it's not like our scrap metal is full. It's full of grills and ovens. It's not filled with, car rotors or, copper. It's just people's junk appliances, basically. They're not making any money off of it. We're not going to make any money off of it. We never made any money before, so why would it be different at this point? If anything, trucking would be more expensive, so why? And they're red nice over it. If I call them, it's usually emptied in the week. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's next?
Oh, sorry. Then we're and in between those, actually, so you have the tires and you have the scrap metal, but between those is a compost pile. You want to come down with your grass clippings. Or your leaves. I know we live in Ashby and most people tarp them into the woods, but if we do have people who actually bring bags of leaves, empty them, and
there used to be a landscapers used to dump out back.
No, we don't have any landscapers really. It's all just private people. Yeah, it's I haven't had anyone come and ask to really get rid of anything like that. In general, it's people might have piles of dirt or something here and there, but
you can't require, like, people dump grass clippings.
Yeah.
So if you're an organic gardener, you're not going to use those because you don't know whether they were fertilized or not.
No, you don't. I mean, you don't. It's just an organic matter pile that gets flipped over once in a while. I can tell you 3 years ago we had a ton of pumpkins grow out of that thing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I probably picked about 20 pumpkins and sunflowers. The town had flipped over the pile and just, yeah. And then 2 years ago I got about 40 gourds out of it. Yeah, stuff just grows out of it, so it's kind of funny, yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I gave them away at Pumpkin Fest as when I had the recycling center information tent. So it was kind of a gimmick to get people in. I want to go.
So now, you didn't mention air conditioners.
Oh, we take we haven't rounded the corner yet. So when you round the corner, that's the thing about that. Sometimes he drops it down there when it's up there. It flip-flops where it is. Sometimes it's down below, but anyway, it's where electronics go, refrigerators, air conditioners, dehumidifiers, mattresses. The same company takes it. So that guy, Raw Materials and Gardner, takes the entire container. They take the mattresses out. They take the electronics out. They take, they take all of that, the electron. So they take that, and we have. And we have to charge money for it because in general, when they empty that, it's usually about $900, $1,000. And it's filled with, refrigerators I charge $25 for. ACs I charge $25 for. TVs I charge $10 for, maybe $20 if we still get old tube televisions in.
Right.
Someone brought in one of those original Apple IICs. That was,
Really?
like the kind I remember in school. And there was a really cool old television that came in, all wood from the 50s, and it pivoted like that. Oh yeah, it was really So you see some wild stuff come in. You wonder how did this stuff still stay in people's houses? But anyway, but that goes on electronics too. So. And just miscellaneous wires. I mean, remote controls. I think when I cleaned out Town Hall, we literally had a box of phones like this, just old phones, and just one electronics also. Yeah. So that, and we charge you kind of accordingly for whatever goes in. Mattresses are $25. Box springs are $25. And they do get recycled. I got to take a tour of the mattress recycling facility. It's actually over on the Fitchburg-Westminster line. It's like an industrial drive down there where they literally take the mattress, cut all the fabric off, put that in a pile. If there's any wood, that goes in a dumpster somewhere, and then in the end, the bed spring, the big frame, just gets crushed and comes out in a little box. So most of so it does pretty much all get recycled because like fabrics, they take any fabric, so the fabric gets recycled, the metal gets recycled. I'm not sure about the wood, but there's not that much wood involved. It's mostly old box springs, so. Anyway, so that all goes in that bin, and then it's all the way by raw materials. Roughly 4 to 5 times a year, we'll say, we fill that up. So, okay, and then you're into the general parking area. Because if you pull up with the TV or an AC, I'll generally help you take it out. If you, same with any thing back at scrap metal. If you got anything heavy, there'll be someone there to usually help you out.
Yeah.
Anyway, then you pull in and you park there, and there's parking for probably a 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 cars maybe. And you've got your general, like, hey, this is all the stuff that I usually am going to be getting rid of. So you have a container that you put glass in. We'll ask you to put the glass on the table because in the past someone's thrown a TV in there or just something that doesn't belong in there. That
we used to be allowed to throw toilets in.
You could, yeah, and I'm assuming that was back when they basically just grinded up all the glass and then used it to probably push down more trash as a base layer.
The glass was used to pave roads up in New Hampshire.
What did they do with it? The first glass I was sending back, they were taking it to Canada and making insulation out of it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then we switched it.
Fiberglass.
Then we switched it. And then I think it had to go to Casella, and they were sending it out to like Pennsylvania or New York, and I forget what they were doing with it. But now there's an actual glass recycling place in Hopedale, Mass. Oh. So the glass we are actually throwing in that bin now is actually getting recycled locally and not turned into what we just talked about. The downside of that is when we do send it there, it's a very expensive truck ride. So it's so because it's Hopedale, so it's it's sending a truck there. As much as I like the job, I can't get a CDL for it. It's a hydraulics license. I don't think the town's going to spring for that.
No.
And we need a truck.
Last year maybe.
Last year, no, not this year. No. So that's the glass recycling. Any normal glass, your pickle jars, your beer bottles, that kind of stuff. No candles. They don't want candles in there. They don't want anything. No panes of glass from your house. No auto glass. Just strictly beer bottles, pickle jars, relish. I did that kind of
kitchen.
Kitchen stuff.
Bottle.
Yep, basically that consistency. Mm-hmm. Booze bottles too. I mean, you can throw in a handle of anything. That's fine.
Depends on where you keep it in your house.
Yeah. It's all right, so that's the glass, and then on the other side you have the paper. Now it's not only cardboard, it's cardboard and paper. So anything, all your junk mail can go in there, all your cardboard can go in there. Pizza boxes, you can't throw pizza boxes in there. I know for a while they didn't want them, but you can throw pizza boxes in there, just don't leave crust in there and stuff. But you can throw pizza boxes in there. All that Amazon cardboard you get, that goes in there. Some of the packaging they send now is paper packaging and recycling, so you can recycle that. Anything paper and cardboard just goes in there, and we fill that up pretty well. We usually stuff that pretty well. That gets emptied once a month. And then the next one is your commingle. So that is all your plastic and tin cans. That's the other container. that you're just dumping stuff down into. So that is plastic bottles, ketchup bottles, Tide bottles, tin can, dog food cans, coffee cans, anything like that. We actually had someone up recently. She was taking plastics engineering at Lowell, and she plucked out all of a certain kind of plastic. She was gonna melt down and turn it into something exciting. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I got to ask her how that went. Yeah. But anyway, that just goes to show you can actually recycle stuff because she's literally pulling stuff out and recycling.
Yeah.
So that is basically what goes in there. There are some exceptions. We can't take rigid plastic. We originally, I think years ago, and I believe Groton does take rigid plastic, and we're talking like your 5-gallon buckets and anything. Oh, and Sterilite containers, unfortunately. I wish we could recycle the Sterilite containers, but we can't. It's just the wrong kind of plastic. They don't want it in that plastic, so it ends up being trash.
Doesn't it have one of the triangles?
Yeah, but it's not the right one. This is supposed to just be household. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. So 5-gallon buckets end up because we used to actually have a dumpster for rigid plastic. The problem with it is you throw. It's just giant objects usually, kids pirate play sets, stuff like that, that just takes up a lot of empty buckets that take up less, so it's just, and then it just became cost ineffective, I guess. I don't know, it wasn't something, it was already gone by the time I took over. Yeah, unfortunately.
Well, it used to be separate metal and plastic.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden that part of it became, what do they call it, single stream?
Commingle. Yeah. So yep. Other places you can actually throw glass in there too, and it's like a zero sort. But we already have the glass dumpster, and we're good. So and it works out.
Yeah.
So that is what's in the commingle.
Oh, and then the garbage.
And then we have just your regular trash. And well, yeah. So all your regular trash goes in there. Well, there's a couple other things you can recycle. Plastic bags you can we're still on the recycling before we throw everything out. Plastic bags you can recycle. So we're talking recently someone was going to throw out an old trunk. We wrote plastic bags on it. And it's not just Market Basket bags. Everyone knows you can go to Market Basket and there's a bin in front. You can put your bags in there. But you can recycle bread, as long as they're pretty clean and not, nasty or anything. Bread bags, trash bags, all those things. All those just kind of regular bags. We recently started collecting them, and then I bring them to Hannaford. So every time we're open, pretty much, I'm bringing basically a contractor bag full of plastic bags too, which is good because it's being recycled. That I used to like. I remember when I ran a CVS, we get like 9 pallets in. They're all wrapped in plastic. You just cut them down, then you'd have this giant ball of plastic you would just throw out. And it was always kind of like, you just felt bad.
The one thing you didn't mention that I think people that have yet to make the decision of whether to hire a garbage contractor, pick it up at the curb, or, start using the transfer station. You just drove us in, and you made all the different stops.
Yeah, I mean, generally, yep.
The best thing that you didn't mention is that as soon as you stop your car, you're attacked by helpers.
Well, yeah, we're lucky enough to have some people helping out.
We are lucky.
It is nice.
We are very lucky.
Yeah, like it's, I always kind of have been.
Yeah.
And it's nice that we have the volunteers now that are doing this because it's, saving pay. Which we obviously needed to do, because when I started, it was me and 2 other college age kids, and so Dan and Mike.
From the time you hit the gate until the time you have your trunk full of stuff.
Yep.
Pass the gate, go up, unload, pay,
and drive out.
How long?
No, I don't know, not too long.
Average.
Oh,
what would you guess?
I don't know, like 10 minutes. I mean, it depends how much stuff you have. Usually you got helpers, so you just write out. Yeah. I mean, the biggest problem is you just start talking to people and they hang out. But Linda's really been shooing people. Hey, come over this line. Which is good because I get kind of talking sometimes. But that's also one of the good things. It's really kind of it's a community spot, I guess. I always try and have a a board up saying what's going on in town. And I forgot we were still at the regular dumpster. I forgot to just kind of say,
Right.
you know, try and recycle as much plastic bags as you can. We'll take them. I'll bring them to Hannaford. So I'm encouraging people to do. You can bring them to me, but I bring them. I bring most
Bring a
of the stuff
bag,
to
and instead of just throwing the whole bag in, you just empty it.
No, I mean trash is trash. If you
Oh.
have like, I'm saying when you look at your trash, at least for me, like most of what's in my trash bag, because I'm a pretty good recycler, you know, cans, plastic. It's a lot of packaging. You know, it's a lot of
Yeah.
plastic bags. A lot of what you're left with is plastic bags. Now, if you eliminate the plastic bags, you'll have less trash, and that's one of the things about the transfer station. You pay for that one bag of trash, but the recycling's free, so it's meant to like encourage you to pay less.
Yeah.
If you want to save more money, you'll just recycle more. And
So what
even
if you just want to recycle?
you just
What
pop.
if you don't have trash? You just have recycles. What if you go to the store and instead
Yeah.
of buying something in a styrofoam tray covered with saran wrap,
Yep.
you know, you say, no, I brought my own container, you can keep yours. So,
If you come with just recycling,
yeah,
right now we still charge like a $7 as price of admission.
but do you need a sticker? I'm
You're
just
supposed
asking
to,
because
yes. You're
people
supposed to
are-
have a sticker,
Okay.
yes. Yeah. So yeah, you're supposed to have a sticker. That's kind of how that works. I know. Yep. It's like I said, I know it seems like recycling shouldn't cost anything, but the cost of recycling is the cardboard and the commingle get emptied once a month. It costs $2.50 to move that dumpster, plus another $28 in fuel surcharge. So that's what, $2.70, and then what's in there is roughly $90 a ton, and it's usually about a ton each, cardboard a little over. So to move this, you've just spent, you know, like $300 exactly.
Now, is the town,
So-
is the town required to, it sounds like that nobody wants to recycle.
But no, I mean you can get recycling through whatever whoever you have for, you know, for your trash pickup. If you're doing it at home, they should anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're supposed to. I mean, really, and it's up to people. I mean, I still know people that don't recycle. It's like, where do you want me to throw this Coke can? They're like, throw it in the trash. You know, I mean, but I grew up in a town that had recycling, so I've grown up with recycling. You know, I mean, it's just been, you know, it's kind of ingrained in me. It's
Yeah.
and that's kind of like, well, when I'm talking about how if you recycle more and throw less out, and that's kind of like my encouragement for people to recycle more, because you'll pay less if you just recycle more. But one more thing about the trash is we do take couches. I mean, it's not just bags of trash. You can get rid of your couch. You can get rid of your old furniture. You can get rid of your if you rip up your chicken shed, you will, you know, yeah, we'll take it. You know, we'll charge you money. It's obviously, it's about $100 a pickup load right now. So that's, you know, and that's pretty much okay. We ripped up a shed. There you go.
Half a load, $50.
Yeah. Yep. And if
And-
it's somewhere in between, we'll work it out.
Play Let's Make a Deal.
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah, I mean, most people are just happy to get rid of this stuff. You don't have to. It's not like people are going to drive all the way there. That's too much and take it home.
I have one more question for you, and
Yeah.
then we're gonna bring on another guest
Okay.
to answer some more questions between the two of you. The stickers for the transfer station,
Yeah,
is it gonna work?
I hope so. We were pretty close before, so this should put us over. We've actually had, we'll say, 3 good things happen monetarily for us. We had the stickers, which give us a, you know, kind of a bump up right away and let us, you know, guaranteed money. One of the other good things is we usually get, but once again you can't count on it, is DEP grants. So you know, the DEP takes, you know, some lumps here and there, but we usually get about $6,000 from them. So and if our operating budget is about 40,000, getting 6, or possibly this year it might be more. We don't find out till January, February. Because going on a community outreach like this gives me a point. Hey,
Yeah.
yeah. So the other thing was there was a law about haulers in town. If you want to operate a dumpster business in this town, you're supposed to be giving a little money to the town.
Oh,
Yeah, and it was just going to the general fund, but I guess it's coming back to us now. So So those are all three good things that are helping us out money-wise. Will prices go up more? Let's hope not. Will, you know, right now things seem to have steadied off. A lot of our price increase was during the pandemic and afterwards when, well, just trucking and gas and everything else went up. You know,
Everything went up.
yeah, everything went up, and that's it. And I mean, I'm hoping that everything levels off right now. Trucking really hasn't gone up, and it always is going to go up, I guess. But that's actually the town does the trucking contract. That's not really me. So
Good.
yeah, but that's pretty much your tour. Oh, and if you want to stop and walk up the hill, you can see Boston from the top of that capped landfill. You can. Yeah,
Can you really?
Yeah, you can see Boston up there, and then
yeah.
on the other side you can't see. There's a giant beaver pond, which I took a walk back there and saw an eagle, a deer. Yeah, there's always something going on. Yeah, it's. I mean, pretty much you got to admit, you know, 13 days a week, it's really quiet there, and it's pretty much just nature taking over. Like I said, I see otters down in that pond. So, yeah.
All right, we're gonna pause for a second and bring on another guest.